Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV on the PC. That's right, I'm still Let's Playing an MMO. But, you know, there's a lot of... I mean, really, like I said, it's just a fancy audiobook with occasional cutscenes, and sometimes I have to do, like, dungeons, but still, it's mostly just dialogue and story. So what did we do last time? Hold on, let me see. We did Ramuh, right? I think we did Ramuh, so that was cool. That was a pretty cool fight. And we're ready to continue on. We'll probably get through the rest of patch 2.3 stuff this time. But yeah, there won't be like a dungeon or a trial or anything. Yeah, not much has really changed, I suppose. I did do some other stuff today. Like, I got to 30 on my Conjurer, so now I have a White Mage. Which so far is basically just you can cast Cure, or you can cast Cure 2. That's pretty much it, but I'll keep working on that. I also got my Blue Mage to 25, which is cool. Learned a spell called Thousand Needles, which you might be familiar with from Cactuars. And it does 1,000 damage. Guaranteed. No matter what level you're attacking or what level you're synced at, you do 1,000 damage spread in an AoE to every enemy around you. So if there's 2 enemies, it does 500 to each, so on and so forth. It lets you shred some early fates pretty good. I kind of like that. But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue. Guardian of Eorzea. Now the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Mangg. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Magomag XII, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Mangg, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solace, who wish naught of conflict. Of the Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there are the many unsung individuals who have gathered here in Revenant's toll, honest men and women who seek to employ their skills for the good of all. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alpha Node, I take it the troubles in UL'DAH no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you from Ella. You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing. They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass her thanks on her thanks to you. My Alpha Node, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Mangg, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozen was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Alright. Oh, he's in here. Nice. Look, it's Mr. Mangg. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Mangg? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? I mean, I didn't really fight anything. I just healed other people, sort of. Actually, it was mostly the fairy. Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonet, did you know that Mr. Mangg is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Mangg. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder. Great. And this bookish fellow is Coltonet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. Well, I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore, we are adventurers. We were just asking Mr. Mangg if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Mangg? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hoary, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am. What matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Mangg? Would you consent to spar with me? Sure. Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, Coltonet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Alright, I mean, I can probably kick your ass. I am a summoner of some renown. It was good of you to agree to this, Mangg. I trust you are ready to begin. Oh, you're gonna sink my level, asshole? Think that's fair? Think that's fair? I thought this was a duel. Can't handle me at my best? Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hori, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Mangg you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Mangg to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Yeah, that sounds fair. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? UL'DAH, what? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Mangg's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Oh, nice music. Alright, we'll just do a little bit of this. We'll do a little bit of this. Hit them with everything we got. You know how we do it. Okay. Such power. Tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? Not over yet, it can't be. Aye, the children have the right of it. 'Tis time I join the fray. On your feet, Hori. Bitches ain't shit. You're gonna keep going, asshole? Okay. Putting up some big old shield. Oh, didn't cut it. Didn't cut it, dude. Oh my god, I killed him. Oh my god, he's dead. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible. He beat them both at the same time. You knew you couldn't lose, Mangg. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Yeah, it feels pretty badass. Made them look like chumps. Impressive as always, Mangg. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. Judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when first we met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius in the order he proposed to enforce. The legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It was you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. These wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the science of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Alrighty. Another new organization, man. Why? Doesn't the Scions already, not care about nations and borders because of neutrality? I don't... Well, how is this different than the Scions? Ah! He just wants to be the leader, that's it. So then I'm going to be doing jobs for the Scions. I'm going to be doing jobs for this new organization. The grand companies. Oh my god. I'm just one little guy. Thank you for coming, Mangg. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization. A group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Alright, sure. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Oh, God. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and his discerning eye will blah blah blah. Our first destination will be LIMSALOMINSA. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. I didn't mean to skip that. That was an accident. Damn it, we gotta go to all three. Oh my God, this is gonna take forever. And he's gonna say the same things in each place, and we gotta sit through it all. Jesus. You might want to just skip ahead 20 minutes in this video. I gotta do it, but maybe you don't have to. Ah, there you are. I am ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Bluefsvin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing permissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Okay. Upper decks are upper decks. Oh, Jesus, they're all over the place. And you can't mount up. This is not... Yeah, Oh. Oh, this is bad. Oh, it's bad. Oh my God, where are you? An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch. I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Let me guess, they're all gonna refuse. Master Alpha notes a new organization. Yes, I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of LIMSALOMINSA must needs receive my full attention. Alright, dude. I'm pausing the recording. I'll come back once we have all 5, but there's not going to be anything interesting here. I was wrong. We actually did get One person to accept. Real from the Company of Heroes. He was all aboard. Shit, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh my god, I assume... Okay, this has nothing to do with any of this. Is some PvP thing. Why did I click on that guy? I just thought I'd complete this little side quest while I was right here. God, why did it launch you into a cinematic that's oh, there, it's skippable. Anyways. Thank you. Frontline. Mangg, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of LIMSALOMINSA. Ah, a member of the legendary Company of Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nafika's altar. I assume, then, that we'll get one person at each city. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Alright, I'll let you know how it goes. So we actually ended up getting 2 out of the 4 people we talked to. Both pretty minor characters from early in the story. What news, Mangg? For my part, the Elder Seedseer was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest, indeed. Shall we strike into UL'DAH whilst the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Alright. I also stopped by the achievement certificate guy, where I got the behemoth mount, and I had 11 certificates, which is pretty cool. And it turns out he actually sells 2 other mounts. So I picked up one of them. The Ahriman mount. I haven't left the city, so I don't know what it looks like to fly around with, but it's an Ahriman. It's the the one-eyed flying creature, so that'll be interesting. UL'DAH, the gilded city where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous 2. Might I suggest descending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade where our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Mangg. Yeah, you mean good running around. We actually only ended up getting 1 person this time. The guy who tried to kill us in Little Alamigo. Like, 3 of the people we talked to were just like random people on the street who told us to fuck off. So I like, okay, I guess it's just open recruitment. One guy said that he heard that our organization was being funded by the syndicate and corrupt coin. Oh. How fair do you, Mangg? What hidden gems did the streets of UL'DAH offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamegan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Mangg. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the Syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Damn it, dude, so we are fucking funded by the Syndicate. That's not a good thing to tell people. This organization's going nowhere.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. UL'DAH is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Dude, I'll do whatever the fuck anyone asks me to do. Anyone.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'DAH law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Damn, man. So yeah, you know, this guy that wants world domination, his group hears about this new military body being formed, the biggest in the whole country, with no ties to any single nation, apparently. Of course he's gonna get a piece of that. I mean, they said that he and his cronies didn't give any money, but you know how it is. All right, back to Revenant's Toll. And it's not, we didn't form a new organization. It's still run by the Scions. It's part of the Scions. People are saying it's part of the Scions. I mean, it's not a new organization. It's just this new agreement. But even still, you're putting it all in the control of one woman, you know, Minfilia. And it's like, that's really not how this should work. What was wrong with the prior thing where you had 3 countries with their own militaries that all agreed to common goals and stuff? That works. That's called an alliance. It's a good thing. That is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. But I cannot promise to rest. The culmination of all our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for following me to monopolize your services, Mangg. Allowing me to monopolize your... Yeah. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Never again, asshole. Greetings, Mangg. Alphinaud tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. You run it! You run it! It's yours! You know, like, there's no difference between that company and the Scions since you run both of them. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tataru is cooperating with Alphinaud to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slaffborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Alright. Dude, I think it's faster to just teleport out. What can I do for you, Mangg? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. I barely noticed your recruits arrive. It was barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. Well, I appreciate your offer of aid. 'Tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedents, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slaffborn, the shipment, we couldn't... Gods, woman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There is naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, and this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery, Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Fortemp. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Mangg, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Fortemp? I'll be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Harshaphant will be glad of your assistance. God damn. Alright, back to Camp Dragonhead. Well, if it isn't my fine friend Mangg, would you care for a plate of roast karakul, some mulled wine? No? I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was in fact on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. Pay me.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on COERTHAS soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortemp does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Hallone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Lady Iceheart, huh? Let's get a different mount than that. Alright. I'm gonna assume it's not Shiva. But I suppose it could be Shiva. I mean, I'm surprised we didn't fight Shiva right after Ifrit. Usually they like to stick those two together. But they went with Titan and Garuda instead. So, I mean, we got Ramu in there, we got Leviathan. I really would have thought we'd seen Shiva by now, but we got King Mangg. Oh, flying is so good. It's so good. Mangg, is there aught you would ask of me? Pray speak plainly. I am a man of action and need no honeyed words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? My, the fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly, without warning, and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhap you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. Yeah, so you have to do like little quests to unlock hard versions of all the dungeons you've done. So it's just a lot of like little run around quests to do. No, this would be up here. No, not that guy. Yeah. Tell you what happened? Yes, of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly Blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed to me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived it all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Alright, hold on. I want to see the Ahriman, so let's just get it. No, that sound. Alright. Yeah, you are on an Ahriman. You're just sort of like grappling onto the top of its head, holding on for dear life. Yeah, it just seems like they have some generic mount music, but the Behemoth. Oh no, this is the Behemoth one as well. So I think there's just a few random generic mount music, and they assign some of it to each mount. But there are some mounts that have their own special music. See, like, this one is different than the Behemoth one. Draw your weapon, foul. I recognize you, adventurer. You are come seeking heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol and we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. That didn't seem like Shiva, I'll be honest. Glimpsed a woman atop the cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? And where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. It would be best were we to return to Whitebrim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillmond. Well, let's go. So we can just go into the top of the tower and go down a level. There we go. Mangg, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily, and I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. It would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Harshaphant of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Alright.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
Shit.
Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the Highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
There seems to be a lot more voice acting in these quests, and I'm hoping that by the time the expansions roll around, there's even more voice acting. Not that I really mind doing it myself, but it is nice to hear professionals. Mangg, 'tis good to see you return to the toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of COERTHAS? How's Fortomp is to send us a second shipment? I must send thanks to Lord Harshaphant for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphinode's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Yeah, well, pay me. Well, I can't use any of this shit. Okay, well, take the helm. It's only for Lancers and Dragoons. Okay, take this then, because I'll probably make a Dark Knight. While you were away in COERTHAS, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? I just assumed she's in here. Okay, yes. These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I'm sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Ah, Mangg, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You'll want to report directly back to Alphanode if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. It's the same organization. What do the Scions even do? What do the Scions even do? I mean, I thought the Scions had the same sort of goal in mind as this new organization. They just didn't have, like, enough resources. You know. Okay. Where? Alright. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. These uniforms are a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Great. That's what we're all about, pal. Thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit that I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Just put this on. Ah, our new uniforms. I reminded my induction into the Wood Whalers. I don't care about that nonsense. Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forward. Just put this on. Ah, yes, the uniform, thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Oh, it's not that lofty. We're funded by corrupt money, and our goals are pretty murky, to say the least. I don't believe we've met. I am Ilberd, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Uniforms are a shrewd decision. There's no easier method of creating a common bond among what is essentially a band of strangers. We don't even have a name. This Scarlet Guard marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hardy defender of LIMSALOMINSA. Yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm, and thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Oh, now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Yeah, that's the idea. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, was you? I'd suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure as I'd hear it among all the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Don't adjust your uniform, dude. That's against regulations. Little Alamigo could learn much from Revenant's toll, but this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Last one. Mangg. Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. Just put this on. It is an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Some interesting sounds. This is the last quest of this patch, so I wanted to just finish it up. Yes, Mangg? Ah, Tataru mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I had thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Mangg. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come! Take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
Dude, Crystal Braves sounds like a low-quality Chinese digital card game.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Hydaelyn's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Where the fuck is Sid? Oh, Daystar Circlet. 110. Oh, it's definitely way worse. Alright, I don't know. I don't know. I guess take that, sure. Shit. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope this shipment has spared the fate of the last. The winds are uncommon fierce this day. Oh, Shiva, 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 Shiva. All right. That's another patch wrapped up. Oh, Defender of Eorzea. Got a new title. Let's go with that. I like that. Sounds cool. You know, newbies will see that and like, wow, he must have done a lot to earn that. Yeah, so that's another patch. Patch 2.3 is done. So next is patch 2.4, which includes a whole bunch of quests, a dungeon, and a trial. So I think patch 2.4 should be pretty good. Patch 2.5 doesn't even have that many quests, but it also includes a dungeon and a trial. And then 2.55 is just a trial with a bunch of quests. So, yeah, we're building up pretty close here to Heaven's Word. I think things are going to get pretty exciting as we close in on that. So, yeah. My name is Mangg. Game watching has been Final Fantasy XIV. I'll see you fine folks in the next part.